Hey, Tanya, have you ever been in a situation where your chest feels incredibly heavy with emotion, but when you open your mouth, nothing comes out?
Oh, absolutely. It's like your soul is experiencing a whole complex drama, but your vocabulary limits you to just bad, mad, or okay.
Right. And okay is carrying a massive load there. It's secretly hiding anxiety, feeling left out, a chaotic mind, and 5 missed phone calls.
Poor okay, it's working overtime. But jokes aside, this is a massive barrier for language learners. You experience a profound sentiment, but the moment you try to vocalize it, it sounds overly aggressive, childish, or completely empty.
And that's exactly how miscommunications happen. People label you as detached, overly sensitive, or uncooperative, but the reality is completely different. You just lack the precise vocabulary.
That's why in today's session, we are unlocking the language of genuine emotional expression. We aren't chasing flawless textbook grammar here. We're aiming for authentic, transparent communication, the kind of language that reflects who you truly are. By the time we finish, you'll possess structured, steady expressions for those internal states that usually feel too chaotic to put into words.
Before we dive deep, a quick hello to our community. Welcome back to the Dopply English Podcast, your favorite comfort zone for mastering real-world English through authentic, relatable dialogues. I'm Rohan.
And I'm Tanya. We are absolutely thrilled to spend this time with you today.
We really are. Today's theme is incredibly practical, Tanya. I feel this episode is going to resonate deeply with our listeners because identifying a feeling is one thing, but translating it for someone else is a whole different ballgame.
You hit the nail on the head. We've titled this episode, Expressing Your Inner Self with Confidence. It sounds straightforward, but the moment someone looks you in the eye and asks, "What's wrong?" your mind completely freezes up.
Yes, you feel the weight of it, but the linguistic keys to unlock that door are missing.
Precisely. Now, this is an upper intermediate to C1 discussion, so we're exploring deeper waters than just standard textbook phrases. But don't worry, we'll maintain a relaxed, smooth, and accessible pace. Today isn't about cramming a massive vocabulary list. It's about learning how to project clarity and maturity when your internal world is complicated.
Later on, we'll also take a specialized vocabulary journey to highlight some sophisticated expressions that will instantly mature your spoken English. So, take a deep breath, unclench your jaw, and let's explore this together. Sometimes, just having the right phrasing makes a heavy heart a lot lighter. Let's begin. Tanya, when someone claims, "I have no idea what I'm feeling," do you believe them?
Mostly, I think they're experiencing a traffic jam of different emotions at the exact same time, making it nearly impossible to sort through them.
So it's not a lack of feelings, it's an overcrowded room.
Exactly. You might label your state as anger, but if you dig beneath the surface, it's actually a mix of rejection, insecurity, or sadness. It's like pulling a single cable out of a drawer and accidentally bringing up a tangled mess of wires from 10 years ago.
An emotional junk drawer. That is a chaotic image, but highly accurate. A person might snap and say, "I'm furious," when what they really mean is, "I felt completely invisible."
Spot on. Or they might say, "I'm just exhausted," when the reality is that they're emotionally drained.
Emotionally drained is an excellent descriptor. It signifies that your fatigue isn't just physical from a workout, your psychological energy is completely depleted.
Yes, you can use it like this. "I felt completely emotionally drained after resolving that conflict." Or, "I've been supporting everyone else's problems and now I feel drained." That communicates so much more than a simple, "I'm tired."
And if you felt like your presence wasn't acknowledged by the group, you could say, "I felt overlooked." For instance, "I felt overlooked during the staff meeting when my suggestions were bypassed."
Or another great one, "I felt disconnected from the group today." That happens when you're physically in a space with others, but feel an emotional chasm between you.
That hits home. Being surrounded by a crowd while feeling entirely isolated is a very specific type of pain.
It truly is. Another vital phrase to know is, "I felt misunderstood."
Ooh, that's a tough one. You try your best to communicate, but the message gets completely twisted in transit.
Yes, you deliver a simple statement, and the other person constructs an entire dramatic screenplay out of it, where you're suddenly cast as the antagonist.
So, before things spiral, we should pause and identify the root emotion. If you're struggling to pinpoint it, you can openly admit, I'm having a hard time finding the right words for this, but I want to try to share it with you.
That phrase is wonderful because it lowers the stakes. It gives you breathing room and helps you articulate the issue. Articulate means to give clear, structured verbal form to a thought or feeling, right?
Exactly. To articulate a feeling means to describe it accurately, even if the delivery isn't absolutely perfect. So the priority isn't flawless presentation, it's transparent observation. First, recognize the internal state, then assign it the correct vocabulary.
Once you've named the feeling, the real test is conveying it without triggering a massive argument.
Right, sharing your vulnerability without making the other person immediately defensive. Because when we're wounded, our initial reaction rarely comes from a place of wisdom. It usually rushes out looking messy and hostile.
Highly volatile and completely unrefined. So instead of pointing fingers and shouting, "You never pay attention to me," we can rephrase it as, "I felt ignored during our conversation when I was trying to explain my perspective." That keeps the temperature low while standing your ground.
Definitely. It owns your personal experience rather than attacking the other person's entire character. Consider this. Instead of blaming someone with, "You humiliated me," you could state, "I felt embarrassed when that topic was brought up publicly."
Or, "I felt incredibly anxious when I didn't receive a response for hours." Or, "I felt pressured when I was forced to make a choice on the spot." These phrases don't make you look vulnerable in a weak way. They project self-control. They prevent the conversation from turning into a legal courtroom drama.
Yes, save yourself from screaming, "Your Honor, let the record show what they texted me in 2023. The emotional courtroom is exhausting. When you anchor your statements in your personal experience, people are much more likely to truly listen. You're not labeling them as a bad person, you're simply mapping out how the situation affected you. That single shift can salvage a failing relationship.
But on the flip side, some people don't fight at all. They internalize everything. They put on a fake smile, pretend everything is perfect, and say, "No worries," when there are actually massive worries.
That "no worries" definitely has a storm brewing behind it. A tiny phrase with a high chance of precipitation. That is the classic consequence of bottling up emotions.
Exactly. Bottling up means trapping your feelings inside for an extended period. They don't evaporate, they just ferment and build immense pressure. It's like a warm bottle of soda that someone has been aggressively shaking. Then a completely irrelevant trigger occurs, like someone forgetting to buy milk, and suddenly a volcano erupts. But it's never actually about the milk. It's about a month of feeling unappreciated, invisible, and burnt out.
The smallest triggers end up bearing the weight of old, unaddressed wounds. So how do we address things before the pressure gets dangerous?
You can use this line. "I want to mention this now because I don't want any resentment to build up between us." It sounds incredibly composed. Or, "This might seem minor, but it's been weighing on my mind."
I really like that second one. It acknowledges that small incidents can still leave a significant mark. Another powerful phrase is, "I realize this probably wasn't your intention, but it really impacted me."
That is an excellent boundary-setting line because it doesn't assume malice. It allows for innocent mistakes while still validating your own boundaries. The core strategy here is to speak up while the emotion is still manageable. A small, transparent conversation today eliminates a massive emotional explosion next month.
Tanya, let's tackle the concept of anger. It's arguably the most destructive emotion to express unthinkingly.
Absolutely. Anger is incredibly loud and aggressive, so it grabs all the attention, but it's almost always acting as a bodyguard for a much softer emotion hidden underneath.
Like deep hurt?
Precisely. Hurt, anxiety, insecurity, rejection, or feeling taken for granted.
Taken for granted is when someone happily reaps the rewards of your hard work or kindness, but completely fails to acknowledge or value it.
Exactly. You could tell someone, "I feel completely taken for granted in this project," or "I feel like my contributions are going unnoticed." It's like putting in 10 hours of solo work and having a manager say, "Incredible group achievement, everyone."
The classic corporate emotional bruise. So, when we shout, "I'm furious," what we frequently mean underneath is, "I desperately want to feel valued."
Or I need to feel respected, or I want my dedication to be recognized. But when we let anger drive the car, we end up lashing out.
Lashing out means exploding with sudden verbal aggression, often inflicting emotional damage on anyone nearby. So instead of a blanket statement like, "You're completely selfish," the mature alternative is, "I felt hurt when my messages were ignored." That's why I love this philosophy. Minimize the finger pointing, maximize the clarity.
Beautifully put. Minimize the finger pointing, maximize the clarity. Instead of throwing out accusations like, "You never respect my boundaries," try saying, "I felt disrespected when I was constantly interrupted during my presentation." The defensive walls immediately drop.
Or instead of screaming, "You're making me crazy," you can choose, "I'm feeling incredibly frustrated because I'm lacking the support I need right now." That anchors the frustration to a specific problem. And if your emotions take over and you speak too harshly, you can always initiate damage control. Just say, "I apologize, my delivery was much sharper than I intended." Or, "Let me rephrase that. What I am trying to communicate is..."
Those recovery sentences are absolute lifesavers. They demonstrate profound emotional intelligence. You aren't dismissing your feelings, you are simply upgrading the quality of your communication. Anger might scream the loudest, but confident language helps you listen to the quieter truth underneath.
Now, even if you express yourself with perfect composure, the recipient might still react poorly.
They might become completely dismissive. Yes, dismissive behavior is when someone minimizes your reality, treating your feelings like they are trivial or invalid. They might say things like, "You're overreacting," or "It's really not that serious."
Honestly, that dismissive reaction can wound you deeper than the initial incident, because now not only are you dealing with the original pain, but your right to feel that pain is being stripped away.
Exactly. And that's the moment people begin to second-guess themselves. They think, maybe I'm just being dramatic. I should have kept my mouth shut. But your emotional experience is valid, and it has every right to be voiced. You don't need to amplify your volume to protect your peace. You just need to anchor your clarity.
So, what's the verbal shield against that?
You can firmly say, "I understand that your perspective differs, but this is exactly how the situation felt from my side. It's non-aggressive, but completely unshakable." Or, "I'm not asking for your immediate agreement, I'm simply asking you to hear me out."
That carries real authority.
You can also explicitly state, "Please do not minimize my experience right now." Minimize means to downplay the significance or scale of something. If someone minimizes your struggles, they act as though it's meaningless. An English learner can confidently say, "I feel like my valid concerns are being minimized right now," or "I'm trying to explain the impact of this event, not ignite a conflict."
That is incredibly professional. Another definitive line is, "Your intentions may have been completely harmless, but the actual impact on me was real." That is light years ahead of saying, "Fine, whatever, drop it," while mentally preparing a Cold War for the next week.
Exactly, a calm face with a dangerous long-term forecast. So when dealing with a dismissive person, don't get dragged into defending your entire character. Simply steer the focus back to the specific event and its consequences.
But let's look at the other side of the mirror. What happens when we are the ones who need to listen?
That is arguably the tougher half of the equation, and that's where the power of validation comes into play.
Validate is a cornerstone word for healthy relationships. To validate someone else's emotional state means to communicate that their internal experience makes complete sense, even if you don't necessarily agree with their objective interpretation of the facts.
Right. It's not an admission of guilt, it's an offering of empathy. It's saying, "I see you, and your reaction is understandable." Simple phrases carry immense weight here. That sounds incredibly challenging. I completely understand why that would upset you. I'm truly sorry you have to navigate that. Or simply, thank you for trusting me enough to share that.
That last one is gold because it rewards vulnerability, making the speaker feel emotionally secure. And here is a revolutionary question everyone should memorize. Do you want me to help you find a solution, or do you just need me to listen?
Such a vital question, especially for those of us who instantly switch into strategic consultant mode the second someone shows emotion.
Exactly. Please put away your 10-step life coaching PowerPoint while someone is venting. A fair point. Sometimes people don't want an immediate fix. They just need a safe harbor to unpack their heavy thoughts.
That's a beautiful way to frame it. If a close friend confides, "I felt so out of place today," you can offer, "Oh, that's such an uncomfortable feeling. Do you want to talk about what happened?" If they admit, "I am entirely overwhelmed," you can say, "That sounds like a massive burden to carry alone." If they express disappointment, you can validate them with, "I can completely see why that outcome would sting." Notice that none of these sentences require advanced, flowery prose. They just require genuine empathy.
Authentic English is often incredibly stripped back and simple. Validate the emotion first and save the advice for later when they're ready. Now, mastering emotional intelligence doesn't mean becoming an open book to every passerby.
An incredibly important distinction. True emotional confidence also involves discretion, knowing who deserves your vulnerability, when the timing is appropriate, and how much to reveal.
To open up means intentionally sharing your private inner thoughts or vulnerabilities, correct?
Yes, when you open up, you allow someone a glimpse behind your curtain, but not everyone has earned a ticket to your full emotional documentary.
The full emotional documentary?
Yes, the multi-season series with dramatic background scores and extended director's cuts.
Right. Someone casually asks, "How's your day going?" and suddenly they're trapped watching an emotional feature film with subtitles.
Exactly. Knowing where to draw the line between healthy sharing and oversharing is a sophisticated life skill. Opening up is an intentional, trust-based act. Oversharing is dumping excessive emotional data to the wrong person too quickly. If you want to protect your privacy, you can politely state, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm not in a space to discuss this right now." Or, "I need some time to process this internally before I can explain it clearly." Or, "I absolutely want to discuss this with you, but let's schedule a better time for it."
And if someone ignores those subtle hints and keeps prying, you have to draw the line.
Yes, drawing the line means establishing a firm, uncompromisable boundary regarding what behavior you will tolerate. You can confidently say, "I value our relationship, but I need to draw the line when a conversation stops being respectful." Or, "I am completely willing to engage in this discussion, but I will have to step away if the tone remains hostile." Boundaries aren't aggressive brick and walls topped with barbed wire. They're elegant, clear fences that protect your mental peace. Without them, difficult conversations quickly become toxic. So, open up to your trusted core circle and draw the line the moment respect leaves the room.
That brings us to the ultimate emotional anchor, composure.
What a sophisticated concept. Composure refers to the ability to maintain internal equilibrium and calm self-control even when an emotional storm is raging inside you.
It's vital to understand that composure is not about emotional suppression or wearing a robotic mask.
Right. It's about holding your emotions with immense care. I love the analogy of carrying a brimming cup of hot coffee. The liquid is intensely hot and full to the edge, so you deliberately slow down your movements to ensure it doesn't spill everywhere. That is composure. The feeling is entirely real, but you're guiding it safely.
In tense situations, composure buys you priceless time. You can say, "I need a brief moment to collect my thoughts before I reply." Or, "I want to address this constructively, so give me just a few seconds." Or, "I'm feeling quite emotional at this moment and I don't want my words to come out wrong."
That last sentence is masterful. It doesn't pretend you're an unfeeling stone, it simply protects the sanctity of the dialogue. In a professional setting, you can utilize, "I need a little time to fully digest that information," or, "May I ask a clarifying question to ensure I fully grasp your point?" Secure, professional, and entirely poised. In a personal relationship, you can say, "This relationship matters too much to me to rush through this conversation without thinking." That signals deep respect. Confidence isn't about having the fastest retort, it's about having the wisdom to slow down and select the right words.
And perhaps that is the absolute core of our discussion today. Communicating your emotions confidently isn't about displaying native-level linguistic perfection. It's about possessing just enough stillness, transparency, and targeted vocabulary to say, "This is my current internal reality, and I am choosing to express it with dignity."
Well said, authentic, focused, and grounded. Language that honors the emotion without letting the emotion hijack the steering wheel. And on the topic of targeted vocabulary, we have 10 vital terms lined up for you. Before we conclude, let's unpack them thoroughly so you can integrate them into your daily speech. Welcome to our vocabulary journey.
Let's start our tour. Our inaugural word is perfect for those moments when an emotion is vivid in your head, but the sentence is still taking shape. Articulate. Verb. Meaning, to express thoughts, ideas, or feelings clearly and effectively in words. Example, I'm working hard to articulate my career goals during this interview. Usage note, it's not about using complex words, it's about choosing the most precise ones.
And once you successfully articulate something deeply personal, you might feel a bit exposed. That leads us directly to vulnerable. Adjective, emotionally exposed, open to hurt, or showing your true, unfiltered self. Example, sharing my past failures with the team made me feel incredibly vulnerable. Usage note, vulnerability isn't a sign of weakness, it's a demonstration of immense courage.
While vulnerability is a conscious choice to open up, sometimes the sheer volume of external pressure becomes paralyzing. That brings us to
Overwhelmed. Adjective, feeling as though the weight of emotions, tasks, or situations is too massive to handle. Example, with the upcoming exams and family issues, I'm completely overwhelmed. Usage note, this is much more intense than just being stressed. It means your mental cup is overflowing.
when someone reaches that overwhelmed state but chooses absolute silence over communication, we use the phrase bottled up, phrasal verb, or adjective, meaning keeping powerful emotions trapped inside instead of discussing or releasing them. Example, if you keep your grief bottled up, it will eventually damage your health. Usage note, think of a shaken soda bottle. Releasing it slowly prevents an explosive mass later.
And when those bottled-up emotions finally break through the surface due to built-up pressure, people often lash out. Phrasal verb, meaning to suddenly burst into anger or verbal aggression towards someone, often unjustifiably. Example, he didn't mean to lash out at you, he was just exhausted from work. Usage note, this usually happens when an emotion explodes before our conscious mind can find the right words.
If someone gathers the courage to speak up, the absolute most damaging reaction they can face is a listener who is completely dismissive. Adjective, meaning treating someone's ideas, worries, or feelings as insignificant, trivial, or unworthy of consideration. Example, I stopped sharing my ideas because the manager was always dismissive. Usage note, this is the exact opposite of empathetic listening. It shuts down human connection.
So, what is the antidote to being dismissive? It is actively choosing to validate. Verb, meaning to recognize, acknowledge, and confirm that someone's feelings are understandable and worthwhile. Example, you don't have to agree with his choices to validate his sadness. Usage note, validating doesn't mean saying you are 100% right, it means saying I understand why you feel this way.
When a person feels safe and validated, they naturally begin to open up. Phrasal verb, meaning to begin sharing your deeply personal thoughts, secrets, or feelings with someone else. Example, it took months of therapy for him to finally open up about his childhood. Usage note, this shouldn't be done indiscriminately. Reserve this for people who have earned your trust.
However, opening up doesn't mean letting people walk all over your piece. You must know when to draw the line. Idiom, meaning to establish a definitive, firm boundary regarding what is acceptable and what is not. Example, I don't mind constructive criticism, but I draw the line at personal insults. Usage note, this is an elegant way to defend your dignity without escalating into a screaming match.
Finally, to navigate all these complex interpersonal dynamics successfully, you need to maintain your composure. Noun, meaning the state of being calm, collected, and in total control of your speech and actions during an emotional moment. Example, even when challenged by the aggressive client, she maintained her composure perfectly. Usage note, composure means your emotions are present, but your intellect remains in the driver's seat.
Mastering these 10 terms will fundamentally transform how you express your inner world, giving you a much more mature and natural presence in English.
Absolutely. And remember, do not overwhelm yourself trying to inject all 10 into your speech tomorrow morning. Pick just 1 or 2 expressions that truly speak to your current life situation. Practice them and weave them into your vocabulary naturally. Bit by bit, your English will begin to mirror your authentic soul. And that is the true definition of fluency.
So, as we wrap up today, keep this golden rule in mind. Your deep feelings don't require flawless, complex English. They just require patient English, honest English, human English.
Let's practice right now in the comments section below. We want you to write a single honest sentence that begins with the phrase, I felt. For instance, I felt overwhelmed when my daily schedule became unmanageable, or I felt overlooked when my team forgot to invite me to lunch. Keep it clear, keep it real.
If today's conversation brought value to your journey, please share it with a fellow language learner who is striving to find their authentic voice. And if you are discovering us for the first time, make sure to hit that subscribe button on the Dopely English podcast for more real-world, deep English conversations that mirror daily life.
Keep listening, keep exploring, and keep gifting your inner world the precise words it deserves.
Take care of your linguistic growth.
And protect your emotional peace. I'm Rohan.
And I'm Tanya.
Thank you for listening to the Dopely English podcast. See you next time.